When I was just getting into guns, I went to a gun store to buy a firearm. When I was there, a customer was talking with one of the gun shop employees, and he said, well, the reason you should buy a 45 is because it will blow a man right out of these, and he put a pair of boots on the counter. That interaction has been so cringe, and it has cursed me my entire life that I now give that curse to you. So I'm sorry. But today on Garand, we're going to be tackling a very interesting question, which is the 45 as deadly as they've said in history? There are many legends of the 45, from one-shot stops to a man that literally shot down an aircraft by shooting the pilot as he was parachuting with an M1911. How well does the 45 actually do? Now, we've previously talked about 9mm versus 45, but today we have a very special treat for you. We have this $500,000 Phantom camera that can film at over 1 million frames a second. Isn't that right, Sawyer?
Yeah, that thing's fast.
And in addition to that, we have Ballistics gelatin. Even better than Ballistics gelatin, we have the famed meat target. Now, before the late and great Paul Harrell passed away, we talked with him about doing the meat target. This was approved and more recently approved by his brother Roy from the Harrell Brothers in Arms channel. We have to give a big shout out to both Paul and Roy Harrell for pioneering the meat target, and we can't wait to use it today in our future ballistics tests. So today on Garand, we will be testing how deadly is a 45 ACP really. Now, before we get into it, of course, I have to thank the biggest sponsor of the channel. The biggest sponsor of the channel is Primary Arms. We love them. Their optics are made in that giant mountain over there, more than likely. And you know what? They're great people. They keep this content free for you, so go ahead and give them a big, lots of love. Right here, we have their compact 1:8, and this optic is amazing. We were just shooting with it. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's pretty fire.
It's pretty awesome. So give them a lot of love. Tell them you love them, and tell them you can't wait to get Skittles in your package because, you know, you might just get it. And of course, if you're looking to be more American, we have Henry Repeating Arms. Now, here's the thing, guys. I've shot a lot of guns in my life, and as I've shot all these guns, I've come to recognize just sometimes I just want a good old lever action to feel more American and just a little bit of American heritage. So go and check them out. They have an awesome catalog, and beyond that, if you go to henrythumb.com, well, we can't talk about it, but suffice to say, it's a big surprise. Finally, guys, if you want to get better at shooting, we recommend, man, just turn your weapon into a dry fire machine. We have Sawyer's brother right here looking slightly retarded, but you know what? We love him. He was in the Army. That tracks. Guys, all ammunition is sponsored for by AAC. With all that being said, let's get into it. A lot of different rounds we're going to be talking about today. We're going to keep it nice and high paced for you. First off, we're going to be firing a good old-fashioned 230 grain 45 auto round to start everything. Our velocity with that is approximately 830, which is still below the speed of sound. From there, we'll be testing some proven performers. We have Federal HST, which is again 230 grains, but with a very well designed hollow point. From there, we'll be moving over to the fan favorite, the Underwood ammunition. These guys make really good rounds that are very consistent with excellent projectiles. Next up, we'll have Horny Critical Duty, which is this nice little round with the plug to ensure it doesn't get plugged up with clothing as it enters the body to ensure that people no longer walk. Next up, we have AAC with their hollow point that's 230 grains. And finally, we have G9 with their Woodsman because that thing just looks insane and I want to see what it does. A lot of talk, not a lot of shooting. Let's get to shooting. Let's film this full speed. Let's see how it does. First up, 230 grain FMJ from AAC. Let's see how it rolls. And that was just a clean, just whoosh, just straight through. Has a lot of ash behind it, a lot of weight, carried it completely through the gel, not a whole lot of disruption, still good performance, okay performance, but you can see why you'd want a defensive round. So as you can see, straight through and through, the 45 began to stabilize at about the last 3 inches of gel block. Overall, we have a pass for the FBI test, which is to ensure that we've penetrated over 12 inches of ballistics gelatin, which is what you want because ballistics gelatin is not a one-to-one of human tissue. We'll be able to see that once we use the meat target. But good performance, especially for an FMJ. So let's step it up to our defensive rounds and see how they differ. Next up, we have Federal HST 230 grain hollow point. This is very comparable to Spear Gold Dot, which is why we're only testing Federal HST. Now, as you can see, the Federal HST, devastatingly violent. Insanely large temporary wound cavity, which is as that tissue / ballistics gel stretches around it, and then a phenomenal permanent cavity. So great performance from the Federal HST. Let's continue. Let's see how the other rounds are going to perform. We have Underwood 230 grain hollow points traveling at 920 FPS, which is quite fast. Let's see how it does. Underwood performed extremely well, not just traveling faster, but also retaining everything into the block. Did penetrate the 12 inches, which is the FBI standard. That being said, there's always a question of should you have more penetration. This is something that we can show with the actual meat target. Underwood, extremely violent, great performance. Let's go ahead and let's move to the next round. There's nothing more than we love than freedom. Freedom to do what you want. But you know what really sucks? That's going to be debt. Debt takes away that freedom because, quite frankly, the banks own that freedom that you have, whether it be credit cards, personal loans, medical bills. There is nothing worse in your life. And that's why more than ever, more people are turning to today's video sponsor, PDS Debt. Let's talk about it. Now, the best part about PDS Debt is that it is tailored to your unique financial situation. There's no minimum credit score, and they are going to help you get your life back on track. Now, PDS Debt isn't just some scam. They have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and on top of that, thousands of reviews on Google and Trustpilot. The reason they have those reviews? Well, they're proven. They've been used by multiple people. So let's get to it. Let's start taking control of your life by clicking the link below. Guys, you are 30 seconds away from being debt-free. Go ahead and get your free assessment over at pdsdebt.com/GT. That is pdsdebt.com/GT. A big thank you to pdsdebt.com. Let's get back to shooting some meat targets. For comparison, we have a Federal HST 9mm 124 grain firing out of a Browning high power, a very good equivalent to the 1911. Extremely good performance from the 9mm HST. Not quite as energetic as a 45, but surprisingly quite close in performance. Let's continue the tests. Next up, we have a Hornady Critical Duty 220 grain. See how it performs. Excellent performance from the Hornady Critical Duty. As you can see, it wasn't quite as expansive as the Federal HST. However, due to that little polymer plug at the front, it has a tendency not to get clogged with clothing like other hollow points would. So although it may look less impressive on gelatin, realistic performance seems to be much higher. This is something that's hard to show simply because, well, we can't shoot homeless people and grant them. I don't know. I feel like JD Vance could fix that. Next up, we have AAC 230 grain XTP hollow point traveling about 830 or so feet per second. Let's see how it performs for the budget brand. Really good performance from the XTP, actually. Didn't think it would do as well as it did. Not quite as good as the Federal, but still very good. I would say so far what we're seeing is that the 45 is outperforming both 9 and 40. 10mm, probably about the same level. I know people don't want to hear that. There's still more testing to be done. So let's get that Woodsman out of the way. Then let's move over to the meat targets. Let's see how it really does. Next up, we have G9 Woodsman, which is meant for extreme penetration if you're trying to, shoot a bear or somebody who supports communism. Next up, we have our Paul Harrow Tribute Meat Target. We'll continue to refine this right here, but what we have is we have pork loin to simulate pectorals, skin, along with the duct tape. Now, of course, me, bigger pecs, but, this guy hasn't been working out quite as much. Then we have pork rib. We have a grapefruit right here to simulate lung tissue. And then we have a big old hunk of meat of pork shoulder behind that to hopefully catch the round. So let's see how these rounds perform. We're going to be testing Underwood, Federal HST, and of course the G9 Woodsman because it just looks so cool. So first up, Federal HST. Federal HST versus the meat target. You ready, Sawyer?
Yes, sir.
All right. Not what I expected. Okay, yeah, didn't see that coming. Not even close. Didn't think it was blow up. Pretty damn cool. You guys want to come over here? We'll take a look at the various entry points and what it did. So through a pork loin, of course, just excellent large hole right there from the hollow point opening up. Once it hits the ribs, absolutely nothing stopped this guy. It just blew right through it. A very impressively sized hole. Absolutely evaporated the lungs. And then I thought it would catch in the loin, but that just didn't care, and that just made a very, suspiciously sized hole. Guess next time we'll just get a whole pig, but that was really cool. Maybe I'm wrong, because I guess it did technically blow that meat out of its boots. Next up, we have Hornady Critical Duty. Let's see how it does on the meat target. Probably going to blow it up just like the other one, but damn, does it look cool. Oh, man. $45. Oh my gosh, that's wild. Let's talk about it. So in comparison to the Federal HST, the hole size isn't as large, but like we talked about, it's good through clothing. So we have our first shot through the pork loin right there. The lungs are of course dead, but before we talk about the lungs, the ribs just had no problem getting through them, did not stop them at all. Not as impressive as the HST, but again, very good performance. And finally, the meat shoulder, which we were hoping would stop it, did no such thing and was merely blown apart. And just imagine that in your body, all that energy having to go out. Man, Japanese hate this one little trick. G9 Woodsman, this thing has insane penetration, so I'm guessing, God knows where this is going. Montana, maybe? Who knows? We'll see.
You got a meat chunk on me.
Oh, no.
Anybody hungry?
Well, that brings us to the end. Now, the question is the 45 as deadly as they say it was? Well, the answer to that is yes and no. 45 is a very good pistol round. You have to realize that pistol rounds, they're not wonderful. They all perform fairly similar, but as you can see, the 45 consistently makes a larger wound track, a larger channel, and with the correct rounds, imparts some serious wounding effects onto the target. Now, compared to 9mm, yes, 45 has more power. The problem you've often run into with 45 is that it just doesn't carry as many rounds. 8 to 10 on the 1911, and of course 12 to 13 on Glocks and USPs. Compare that to a Glock 17 or a 19, which carry between 19 to 17 to 15 rounds. You can see that you're at a disadvantage in terms of the number of rounds carried. This is going to be something that you're going to have to come up with as a solution. It's been said many times, carry the largest caliber that you can fire accurately and well. For many people that is 45, and for many people that is not. What we'll say is that 45 has a great history of putting people into the ground, and as you can see from our testing today, it had some great performance. Make sure to shoot some 45 because you know what? 45 originated here in America, and gosh dang, is it good. Funny enough, it's made by the Mountain Jews, Mormons. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We have tons of cool things. We like to do these little tests right here to disprove or prove theories. But as always, survival, reviews, ballistic testing, we do it all. Stay tuned. Of course, go on Patreon, all the worst clips of me. And we're having a good time. And final thing is going to be dad advice with Preston, or Wrench Hand.
Dad advice for you today. Just push yourself to do hard things every day. Makes you a better man. Stay strong.
There you have it.